Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new podcast. Welcome to the CFCBlues Podcast. It's a new podcast on the block. I am your host, George Allen.
And I'm your host, and I'm your co-host, Yusuf Atouche. In this podcast, we'll be talking about Chelsea games, and we'll also be doing some reviews and previews. We'll also be doing some bonus content as well, so stay tuned.
That is right. Reviews, previews of Chelsea games, some bonus content, so make sure you're looking out for that.
Yep.
Obviously, this is episode 1, so who knows what's coming around the corner. Hopefully, we can keep this up, as we will be doing this for almost every Chelsea game that comes around. So, what are we going to be doing first, Yusuf?
Alright, so since this is a new podcast, we're going to be introducing ourselves, so George, start.
Okay, so as you can probably tell, my name's George. How long have I been a Chelsea fan for? Well, I've been a Chelsea fan since around the age of 8 when I first learned what football was. So, and I'm 17 now, so for around 9 years. Going to be 10 years this year. My favourite Chelsea player of all time, that's a toughie, you know. That is a toughie. I'm going to go with Didier Drogba. That's who I'm going to go for. And my favourite current player is undoubtedly Reece James. He's an absolute baller. And my favourite game I remember watching. So for you, so if this could be on the telly or whether you've been to the game or not. This game I was actually at, fortunately enough, and it was Chelsea 4, Ajax 4. What a game. What a game. What about you, Yusuf?
Well, I've been a Chelsea fan since when I was 9. Since I was 9, I started watching games on the telly with my dad.
Yeah, sure.
My favourite player of all time, probably Drogba, because Drogba, he scored big goals in big games. And I remember the final of the Champions League with the penalty.
Can't complain.
I was screaming on the telly,
You can't complain at all.
Favorite current player, I think Mason Mount right now, because he's passionate of the team and he's working hard, scoring goals for us.
Yeah.
But when they're not playing well, you know, for them, he scores the winning goal. Favorite game I've been watching, you know, I think it was Tottenham. I think it was Chelsea 2, Tottenham 2.
Hazard's goal.
Yeah, when Leicester won the league.
Yeah.
I remember Martin Tyler on Sky Sports.
Hazard. So welcome, Yusuf. We're here. We're finally here doing this podcast. First episode is obviously going to be us reviewing what was a pitiful game last night against Leicester. But before we get into that, obviously we just wanted to get you guys sort of familiar with us. So obviously we're both quite young. We're both 17 years old. We both kind of play football. We're not very good, but we do play it on the odd occasion. Obviously right now we can't play it because of COVID, which is why we're over the phone. We're over the phone. We were going to try and do it on a call over a Discord, but unfortunately the audio just didn't want to work at all. So we're here. We're doing it the way anyone else would have done it, over the phone. And also because of COVID, we can't do... if it wasn't COVID right now, we'd be sat in the same room at a table and we'd just be waffling on like we are right now. So obviously the timings for each episode, we're aiming for about 30 to 40 minutes. Some might be over, some might be below. But since it's the first episode, we're going to take our time. We're going to get used to talking with you guys and just waffling in general, which we're both very good at. We do waffle on a lot. So, Yusuf,
Yep.
What did you... Well, first off, what was the score yesterday?
Yesterday was Leicester City 2, Chelsea 0. Oh my god, that game was awful. Literally.
What happened? What went wrong?
Well, first of all, with the first goal, it was from a corner, I think. Yeah, from a corner, and then I think Javier Bon just missed the ball completely, and then indeed he just smacked it with his left foot and then hit the post.
Yeah, you actually missed the first goal, right?
Yeah, I missed the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. So for a bit of context, me and Yusuf were over on a WhatsApp call. We were going to watch the game together. About 15 minutes before the game, I called him. Obviously, because it's on Sky Sports, you watch all the build-up. You get to watch all the pundits talk about the two teams. So we thought, oh, that would be quite fun to listen to together. And then Yusuf struggling to get his TV on. Luckily, I had mine on about an hour before because I was watching the Derby Bournemouth game. Because since the West Ham West Brom was on BT, and I don't have BT on my big TV, so Yusuf rocks up in the call saying I'm struggling with my my TV. So and I thought, oh, you'll be alright. You'll make kickoff. And then he didn't make kickoff. And then I thought, I literally said to him, what would you do if you missed a goal? And he went, I don't know, mate. And then 5 minutes later, indeed he scores, and I just start laughing because he's missed a goal.
Yeah, that was awful performance.
But at least you missed a Leicester goal and not a Chelsea goal.
Yeah.
So Yusuf, talk us through some of the statistics.
Well, the statistics were before the game. The head-to-head they were played 29 with 9 draws. We won most of them with 14 wins, and Leicester was 6. But now they have well, they had 5 before, but now they have 6 because we can't defend. Oh, my PC just started like an hour ago. Yeah,
it's fine,
and, yeah. Well, that's head-to-head. Let me find the stats because it's not loading.
I have them here. And what I will say is, looking at the statistics, you would have a Chelsea win all over. Well, not all over it, but I'd say 75 to 80%.
You would expect us to win.
Yeah, looking at the statistics. So we'll start with possession, which is one of the most shocking possession stats I've ever seen.
Awful.
For the scoreline, I mean, props to Leicester. They played phenomenally. They kept the ball well for the first half and second half. Let me tell you the possession first. Leicester City had 34% possession. We had 66% possession. And I'll tell you exactly what we did with that 66% possession. Absolutely naff all. Passed it round the back. We got into a good position to cross it. Chilwell and Reece James went to cross it and then passed it back to the defenders. And we did that over and over and over and over and over again. I could go on for years saying over and over again.
Yeah.
But there isn't a but, really, is there? It's just unacceptable. What would you think about it, Yusuf?
Yeah, it's definitely not good enough for the quality of our squad to have almost double their possession and not nick a goal. Then it's just poor, mate. It's awful.
It is. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. Obviously, Leicester are top of the league. Going into this game, I said before I would have taken a 0-0, a 1-1 or a 2-2 draw. I said a point is very good. In fact, let's tell them, Yusuf. So I messaged Yusuf in the morning. What do you think the score is going to be? Or who do you think is going to win? And he said, this is his exact words: we have a better squad than Leicester, so we should be winning. And I thought, fair enough. That's your opinion. Go for it. And then I messaged him about an hour before the game. What's your score prediction? He said 2-1 Leicester. And I called him out. I said, well, hang on a minute. Didn't you say that Chelsea were going to win because we've got a better squad?
Yeah.
And he blamed it on the wind. He said it was the wind's fault.
Yeah, wind's fault, mate. Yes.
Have you got your statistics up yet?
Yeah, I've got them up. Alright. Touches, we had more with 822 and they had 526. Oh, wait, sorry. First, the shots. They had 6 shots on target. We had 5. They had 8 shots in total. We had 9. That just tells you. Touches, we have 822. To Leicester, they have 526. Passes, 636 and 340 for them. Tackles 25, 19 tackles to Leicester. Just corners. They had 3.
I'm just going to stop you there, mate. Sorry to interrupt, but could you go over the passes again, please?
Passes. All right. We had 636.
636.
Yeah, they had 340. So we had double then.
We had almost double the amount of passes that they had. They managed to score 2 goals, and we managed to successfully play Mourinho's tactics in passing it, or old school Mourinho, I should say, because he's doing sick at Tottenham at the moment.
Yesterday, I was so frustrated. We kept passing backwards and sideways. Just pass.
We got in a good position and we passed it backwards. I know not every pass can be forward, and sometimes you have to pass backwards to then go forwards. But when you do it every single time you're in a good position, it is one of the most annoying things to watch.
Especially when you're 2-0 down as well away.
Yeah, exactly. It's very, very frustrating. Fortunately, James Maddison got me a fair amount of points.
Yeah, lucky you, mate. I don't have any less clear. I put James and Chilwell in defence because I thought they're gonna do well, but clearly not.
I've got the Leicester front 3. Harvey Barnes, Maddison, and Vardy is mine.
Yeah, I had Vardy as well, but he didn't get goals. Lucky for us, because otherwise we would have lost 3 or 4-0.
Yeah, we're very lucky. Vardy just wasn't at the races really. It was fortunate for Leicester that the rest of the team were. Vardy, here's the thing: when you've got a whippet like Vardy in your team, he's obviously going to do damage, and he very almost did. He was 1-on-1 with Mendy, bearing in mind it probably would have been given offside, but still, he was 1-on-1 with Mendy from a defensive mistake.
Yeah.
Fortunately, he went for the chip, which is very un-Vardy-like. So, but yeah, overall, it was just so disappointing to see us go and get absolutely dominated in the first half and concede 2. And if you want to say it like this, we dominated the second half, but didn't do anything at all. So we're about 14 minutes into the episode. I feel like we've gone through a fair amount of detail. So what I want us to do is we're gonna go through each player that played on the pitch, substitutes and all, and we're gonna give them a rating. We're gonna give them a rating from E being the worst and A* being the best.
Yep.
We're gonna take our time. And we're going to go for each player. We'll start off with Mendy. We'll concur, so we concur with each other. Edouard Mendy. I'll let you start.
All right.
What did he do good, and what did he do bad?
Well, first of all, he saved us. That's one from being 3-0 because I think Tielemans was through because Leicester they counter-attacked. So. And it could have been more as well if it wasn't Mendy. So I'll give him a 6 out of 10.
So on E to A?
Oh, E to A, probably C.
I'd give him a C-.
Average. Yeah, he was average. Just average, yeah.
Yeah, C-. He was below. I'd say he's not below average, but if average was between C- and C+, obviously I'd put him on a C-. Ben Chilwell.
Wasn't that great yesterday, to be fair. I think it's the same as Mendy, but he was a bit worse than him, so probably just C for me as well. Again.
So, wait. You just said worse than Mendy, but you're giving him a higher grade. Do you mean a D?
Yeah, D. Sorry. for me.
So we'll give him a D plus.
Yeah.
Who's next? Reece James.
Reece James.
His first game back from injury, to be fair to him.
Yeah. So I won't give it a too harsh a rating, but I'll say C for this one because at least he gave it a go. I mean, for the second goal, he was at fault, to be fair, because Madison was behind him. Like, he just wasn't focusing at all. And he just pulled in and shooting his shot. So
Yeah. I'd say I would have given him a C plus, but because of that, we'll go just a plain C.
Yeah, that's it really.
Antonio Rudiger.
He was alright yesterday. Actually, not really alright, but
I tell you what, he was picking out a lot of long passes, and they were I think out of 6, only one of them didn't reach the receiver.
yeah,
Which is obviously something you want from a defender. Obviously, we've seen it in the past with David Luiz when he was at Chelsea. We've seen it from Virgil van Dijk at Liverpool. We've seen it from Vincent Kompany when he was at Man City. So it's good to have that sort of quality to be able to pick out balls. I'm going to give Rudy, obviously it's his second consecutive start, pushing Zuma out the team. I'm going to give him a C.
alright.
But actually, let's bring up a quick subtopic before we carry on. We spoke about this a little bit yesterday in the phone call. If I think personally, if Rudiger had Kurt Zuma's head, so if you swap the head of Rudiger with Zuma, you've almost got the perfect defender, because Kurt Zuma's head just wins everything in the air, and Antonio Rudiger is really good with his feet. So I don't know what everyone else out there thinks. I don't know what you think actually about that, Yusuf.
I agree with you as well.
You agree? Okay. Well, let us know down in the comments if you've made it this far into the episode. If you think that's a good theory or a good analogy, whatever word you want to use. But do you think that's a fair assumption? I think it is. I think it's a very good assumption. Thiago Silva next.
Well,
again, really bog standard, wasn't it?
Yeah, just standards. To be fair.
We'll just go for another solid C.
Yeah.
Who was in the midfield? We'll start with Kai Havertz.
Well, he was actually he played alright yesterday.
He played better than he has played. I don't think he played really good or good yesterday, but I think he's played yesterday. He showcased a lot of skill. He had good positioning, but when he was on the ball, he made a few good passes, but it was quite drab from him. So for Havertz, I'll let you choose this one, mate.
I'll give him. I think it's better than the back four, to be fair. So I'll give him a B.
A B. Ooh.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll let you stick with that, a B. But if he's getting a B, this next player has got to be higher. Mateo Kovacic. Obviously, I've had a lot of debates with other fans about him. How this last season he was our player of the season, and rightfully so. But this season he just hasn't been there, has he? But yesterday, he was on point. He was really good yesterday, which is why I'm giving him a B plus. I'm not giving him an A. None of our players performed A standard yesterday, but I'm gonna give him a B plus because he was really good, really good. Who's next?
Mason
Mount.
I think it's better on the pitch. Or not.
Him and Kovacic were definitely putting in a shift. I have to say that. Yeah, you choose. You choose.
I'll give him a B plus because at least he worked hard for the ball. Like he showed passion and and determination as well.
Yeah, that's a fair assumption. I have to say. Yeah, we'll go with a B plus for good old Mace. Who I am gonna say is Chelsea's future captain. Definitely future captain.
Yeah.
Who's next? Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Just standard as well, I guess.
He's been good when he's come on against Man City, against Arsenal, against other teams in the Premier League, and he played really, really well. Obviously, against Morecambe, he played well. He got a goal, I think. Obviously, people are going to say, "Oh, but it's Morecambe. He's found his level." But those are the sort of games where you want your players to perform, because you have to have a foundation to build on for form. If you want to be in a bit of form, you have to have a foundation, and obviously I think that could be the start of his form. Yesterday he played okay. Again, you said pretty average, so we'll just go with a C for him. But Hudson-Odoi for me is in the top 5 to 4. No, top 4 to 5 youngsters in the Prem for sure. Who was on the left?
It was Pulisic.
Pulisic, D minus.
Yeah, he wasn't good today.
He was awful.
Like, he's not the best of form, but Lampard still plays him. I don't understand. Yeah, no, I remember an interview. He said that he plays players on merit. Well, clearly that's not true.
Yeah. Pulisic, obviously, we know his quality. Last season, he was probably our best player. He is, on his day, he is a world-class player. But unfortunately, this season, he hasn't displayed any of that at all. And I don't know why. I said yesterday, maybe he's seeing, obviously, we've brought Timo Werner, Kai Havertz in. Their confidence is struggling. He's thinking, oh, hang on a minute. If they're not performing, then how am I going to be able to perform? Maybe that's the case, maybe not, but who knows? Who knows? And last player, you can do this one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Last player of the starting 11.
Yeah, it was Tammy Abraham. He was awful yesterday.
Do you want to go the same as Pulisic?
Yeah, D minus.
D minus for Tammy Abraham. That brings us to the subs. Who were the subs?
It was Hakim Ziyech and Timo Werner.
Did no one else come on?
Nope, none of them.
Did they not?
Nope.
I thought we made 3 subs. Oh, there we go. There's another.
Made only 2.
There's another mistake that we should have brought on another sub. Ziyech didn't see much of the ball, to be fair to him, and when he had the ball, he was trying to get forward with it. He had a shot which was scuffed, which Michael caught or just picked up quite easily. But for Ziyech, again, didn't see much of the ball, didn't see much of him really. So C, can't give him any higher, and you can't downgrade him. So we'll give him a C. And Timo Werner, I'm actually going to give a B, because he got in a lot of good positions. He made a load of really good passes. When he was on the ball, he looked confident, and obviously he scored that goal. Unfortunately, it was offside. But what I will say is, I'm saying this now, is that I'm praying that is the start of something huge for Timo Werner.
Yeah.
What else is there to talk about? We're about 25 minutes in now. I want to keep going. There's loads to talk about. There was a huge rumour yesterday that if Chelsea lost a game, Lampard would get sacked. As of now, this is about 18 hours after the game. Nothing's come through. Do you think it will happen, Yusuf?
I think it will.
You think it will? When do you think it will happen?
Maybe not Solskjaer's going to get in a job.
I think we should, if he does sack Lampard. Obviously, I love Frank Lampard, Chelsea legend, but manager, not really. I don't think he's ready. Obviously, last season he did a fantastic job, absolutely fantastic job. But I don't think he's ready to take on world-class players like we have. Like he's ready to take on players that have been about. They know what they're doing, and he's sort of making them worse. Like I said yesterday to you, I think if we had a different manager like Allegri, Tuchel, the Leipzig manager, I forgot his name, Timo Werner and Kai Havertz could possibly be different players. I think Lampard's kind of not bringing the most out of them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I understand,
But if he does decide to sack Lampard, bring in an interim coach for the rest of the season, see the season out, and then bring in the summer, go for the Leipzig manager. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Me too, also as well, probably.
Yeah. So, are you Lampard in, or are you Lampard out?
Well, I don't think Lampard should have been manager in the first place, because Chelsea is too big a job for him, in my opinion. Like, it's a massive club with very high standards, and right now we're not like playing well at all.
Yeah.
So right now I'm Lampard out, to be fair.
I have to agree. I have to say I am Lampard out right now, purely and simply because performances are not there. Players are not performing like they should be, and I feel like that's down to the manager. We're not using 3 subs in a game where we're 2-0 down, where we need to bring on fresh legs. Oh, sorry, we're only using 2 subs, and the tactics are wrong. I'm not going to do a Ty or a Claude or a DT and say Lampard out right now. I don't want him in my club. I'm happy for him to be in the club. I actually think he'd be a good assistant manager.
Yeah.
But I think the first team manager, the head coach, is a bit steep. It's a steep job for him to take. So for that reason, I'm gonna say Lampard out. But I'm not angry about it or anything.
Yeah, that's yeah.
What else is there to talk about? It's the transfer window currently.
Tomori going to AC Milan.
Yep, Tomori unfortunately looks like he's going to be going to AC Milan, which is a shame because last season he was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And then we signed Thiago Silva, and all of a sudden he's sacked off. Like, he didn't even start against Morecambe, which I find really disrespectful towards Tomori. Rest Zuma, rest Rudiger. Bring in Tomori, bring in Christensen.
Yeah.
Let them have a run around. Speaking of, actually, Andreas Christensen, before lockdown, when FIFA 21 first came out, we were in Tier 2, I believe, so we were allowed to go out. And me and Yusuf, we went to the local Sainsbury's, and we went and bought it, and we decided to walk back instead of getting the bus. And what we did was we walked down the back streets because it was a bit quicker, and we saw Andreas Christensen walking his dog with his girlfriend or wife or whatever she is, and we gave him a wave. He waved back. So technically, Andreas Christensen is a good mate of ours. But yeah, complete disrespect to Tomori for me. Got to start him, and if he's still here, I'd start him against Luton.
Definitely.
By the way, Luton preview will be Friday, so look out for that. But other signings that we've been linked to is Erling Haaland. Apparently, we're going to sign him in the summer, though. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of free agents, really, really good free agents, on offer. Dale Upamecano being one, who a lot of teams are after. Gianluigi Donnarumma being one, but I can't see that happening. Who else is there? There's quite a few.
Let me give it a quick Google.
What's his name? Is it Aaron Ramsey? I think he's one of them.
I think so. Alright.
We probably should have got this up beforehand, but oh well. First episode, we learn from your mistakes. Well, go on, Yusuf.
Sorry?
Go read them out for us.
Alright, well, the ones that are popular is Alex Teixeira. He's from Brazil. I think
the one that's really OP on FIFA.
Yeah.
Hate
it's the one that plays in China, I think.
Yeah, I hate playing him.
Is Costa?
Yes, Diego Costa. There's a lot of rumours that Spurs want him, but I don't think Mourinho wants him. I think it's like the Spurs owners that want him.
Yeah. We've got Daniel Sturridge from Vice President. He's 31 now.
Yeah, I don't want Daniel Sturridge. Next.
Ramirez. Ramirez. He's 33 now.
Yeah, he's getting on a bit. Don't want him. Legend, but don't want him.
You got Pato, the icon from AC Milan.
No.
Got Wilfred Boney.
Come on, Wilfred Boney. That meme's a bit dead now, but I'll take Wilfred Boney. I'm joking.
I mean, that's it. To be fair, like the famous ones.
Okay, well,
that we know of.
Out of all of them, the only one I want is Dale Upamecano.
Yeah.
And I think we're gonna end it there, Yusuf. It's been a lovely first episode. We're talking about Leicester, talking about the Leicester game, talking about what's going wrong with Lampard, talking about getting you guys familiar with us, so you can see sort of our opinions and views on football. Obviously introducing you to the CFCBlues Podcast, as it's named, and talking about some of the transfers going on. So that's going to be it for today. Yusuf, take it away. I'll let you do the outro.
Alright. Thank you for watching. For listening. Watching. And yeah, well, for the bonus content, we might be doing some Pro Clubs videos.
Yes, that's a good point. Sorry. Yusuf mentioned at the start that we will be doing bonus content. He said previews and bonus content, as this is a YouTube podcast, which will hopefully one day branch out onto Spotify and all of the other major podcasting platforms, but for now we're sticking with YouTube. And what we are going to do is we're going to record some Pro Clubs. So down in the comments, what I want you guys to do is, because you can edit players on Pro Clubs this year, me and Yusuf will obviously be ourselves, but down in the comments, leave us who do you think should be on our team. Should we structure it so we start with Chelsea youngsters, and as we rank up, we unlock some of the professional players, or do we just have all memes in our team, like Mark Goldbridge, DT, Robbie, Ty? Basically, half of the team will be AFTV, and the rest will just be like Boris Johnson, Donald Trump, and all them. So let us know down in the comments. Before you do the outro, Yusuf, sorry, one thing I forgot to mention was follow us on Instagram and Twitter. I will be running the Instagram, Yusuf will be running the Twitter. So give us a DM, say hello. But don't overload us, that's all I ask. We do have lives, we do have our privacy. So take it away, Yusuf.
Well, thanks for listening, and obviously Friday we're going to be recording the preview for the FA Cup game with Luton. And I've been Yusuf, and George has been George. Anyway,
Bye now.